Unending Dawn, developed and published by Parse's Fate Studio, is an upcoming free-to-play, open-world action gacha game that a lot of us have been anticipating for a while. This was one of the older, more OG Genshin clones that put a bit of a spin on it. It blended Genshin Impact and Souls-like combat to create this dark, post-apocalyptic anime world that was ravaged by the Day of Unending Dawn, a cataclysm where strange colors curse wildlife and survivors tread the path of cognition for hope. That is their official summary. I didn't make that up. This is the unforgiving open-world action game that was announced years ago that we've been waiting for any update on. It utilizes high skill parries and deflect mechanics, kind of like what you'd see in Sekiro. It has your basic attacks, your special skills, your ultimate abilities, QTEs during character switches. There are enormous, gruesome boss fights from the footage we saw in the various different trailers that were released. Their goal was to create this unforgiving, Soulsborne experience that has depth that the vast majority of gacha games, or all gacha games actually, lack. In a gacha game with bloody effects and multiplayer co-op elements. Now, I know you're looking at the game and you're like, man, it looks really good. When is it releasing? And you probably looked at the title. What happened to Unending Dawn? And then the thumbnail, is it dead? And you're like, oh man, Stix, are you here to tell us that the game is dead? I mean, no, not really. At least I hope not. On June 26, 2023, they debuted their very first announcement trailer. This was roughly 6 to 7 minutes long. It was essentially an open world exploration combat demo that was uploaded directly to YouTube and Bilibili. On April 18th to 19th, 2024, this is about a year later, The Flame of Faith Everlasting, which was a 7-minute gameplay trailer, was uploaded. It showcased extended Souls-like parry combat, it showcased PS5 support, and was actually very popular. This is when the larger content creators got a hold of it, started reacting to it, and people got very excited. And then later in July 25th through 28th, 2024, at China Joy 2024, they released a new gameplay trailer with demo footage. There was the pre-event trailer release. This was on July 25th, followed by, on July 26th to 29th, a 17-minute PS5 demo. This was a stage event and highlighted co-op, it highlighted boss fights, and then here we are, the end of 2025, a year and a half later. What's been posted? What have they been saying? What have they been doing? Admittedly, absolutely nothing. There have been no official updates on the TapTap page. There have been no official updates on the Bilibili page for Unending Dawn since roughly mid-2024 post China Joy, with the single exception of a post made over on TapTap. This goes on to state that the feedback that is left goes directly to the planning team working together to create the game. I've recently seen many friends asking about our current situation, so I'd like to respond here. Unending Dawn is currently under development, and you don't need to worry. This is good news. This was what, 13, 14 months ago? They're holding a player co-creation event. They're giving gifts for successful suggestions that they implement, but it is essentially a reassurance message. It's to let you know, don't worry. The game is still in active development. The game hasn't slowed down. The game hasn't shut down. It hasn't been canceled. It's still there in theory, and it better be, because this game looks incredible. This is a fully cross-platform gacha game, releasing onto PS5, PC, Android, iOS. There's no Xbox planned at all. There's also, unfortunately, no release date. It's there have been people that were speculating 2025, evidently not expecting 2026. But let's be real, with how little has been revealed, how little on social media has been revealed, 2026 isn't likely either. Now, funding shouldn't theoretically be an issue. They do have backing from China Hero Project and Sony, which means their budget is probably significantly higher than a lot of other upcoming gacha games. But even so, no updates have been made. We have no public plan whatsoever. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. We, as far as I'm aware, haven't had a beta test yet. We hadn't had really even an offline, like enclosed in-office test phase yet, which leads me to believe the game is very, very far from completion. And games like Silver Palace, Arknights Enfield, Neverness, Whoeverness are going to release a lot sooner than this game will. Now, comparatively, this game actually doesn't, like visually and aesthetically, I think the other games look better. So I'm not quite sure where this game is getting hung up on, how they're taking as long as they are to either update people or to just actually release a playable version of the game. It could be an alpha test, it could be a beta test, it could be a closed offline test. As long as the game is playable and it's more than just a concept, then I think we're okay. I think we're safe. This is a AAA Souls gacha hybrid. This is a game that we need. We have our Wuthering Waves, we have our Genshin Impact, we have our Creature Collection Azure Promelia, we have our Urban Ananta, we have the Factory Sim Segregated World Arknights Enfield, there's that Animal Crossing inspired Petite Planet game from Hoyoverse, there's another, like 4 upcoming Honkai Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Universe gacha games. We have the Varsapura also from Hoyoverse. We have Project Nami coming from Kudo Games. We have the open world action Nikkei game coming. What we need is a Souls-like gacha game that is absolutely gruesome and brutal, that messes you the hell up. And I think that is very much so what this game is, and very much so also why players are as excited for this game as they ultimately are, because this is going to deliver us something that we don't currently have. And I mean, honestly, if it takes another year, if it takes another 3 years, 5 years, so be it. The gacha genre is going absolutely nowhere other than up. And as long as the game is high quality, then that's really all that matters. A game created with passion, slowly, articulately, should in theory be very good. A game that is rushed will suck, fail, and end of service faster than Black Beacon did. Is Unending Dawn dead? No, it's actually far from it. They state that they're in full swing and that development hasn't slowed down and that they're going good. So I wouldn't expect a 2026 release, but maybe we'll get a 2026 beta test. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.